Alright, this video is going to ruffle your feathers, especially if you're a young person. So, for all the young people out there who are saying that the current system is fucked up, that it's not fair for someone who's worked 20, 30, 40 years in the system and has acquired his castle, his domain, whatever it is, that he has a car and a house, and normally it's a man and a woman, because in order to be successful in the world, you need a husband and a wife. And I'm talking about a man and a woman, not that other shit. Because you need someone to take care of the home, and you need someone to provide for that home. And until the man and woman have kids, then the woman can be out there working too. And technically, she can work when they have kids, but then your kids are being raised by a daycare and the school system, which both are horrible. So you're buying into the it's not fair that people that have done that have stuff, and that, you know what, you're saying, fuck it, I ain't gonna be a part of that shit. So you're working gig job, you're working, you know, whatever. So here's what I'm going to tell you. You're going to get what you want. You're going to get a new system. If you look at how Russia imploded when Stalin came into power, that's what you're going to get. People are literally going to starve to death. Because anytime the government takes over something they don't know anything about, it fails miserably. I mean, look at all the nation-building attempts that the U.S. has done around the world after we've gone in and fucked up shit. And it has always failed miserably. Because the government doesn't put people who are experts in charge. It just puts some fucking bean counter in charge. Okay? So, you're going to get your want and your wish. You're going to get change. But the change you're going to get, you're going to fucking hate. Okay? You could have invested in this system and figured stuff out. Some people never figure out anything, and those are the ones still working fucking minimum wage jobs. And most of them wind up working 2 or 3 if they have a family. Most of them who have some pride, you know, they work hard so that they can have certain things. And here's a little secret for you. The rich motherfuckers of the world are not interested in you ever being successful in leaving whatever class you are. If you're poor, they want you to stay poor. They certainly don't want you to be middle class, and they certainly don't want you to move into their class, the rich people. If you're middle class, they don't want you to become rich. They prefer you to stay middle class or even go back down one run. And saying I have on my channel, information is knowledge and power, is very, very, very true. I've talked about this in the past. In the 80s, I went to college for 3 semesters. And I went to a couple of frat parties in the summer where the fraternities were recruiting. And back then, fraternities and sororities had test banks. They probably still do. That's the reason the people in the sororities and fraternities, and nowadays they have Quizlets, so they all fucking cheat, right? So that's the reason they can go to school. And they generally don't learn anything, but they don't have to. So, you need to, by not buying into the system, you're going to cause what was going to happen no matter what to happen sooner. And what's going to happen is it's going to collapse. Now, you're one piece of the puzzle, but when you combine your unwillingness to go to work in order to get the things that you want, and if you're one of those people that are working right here, hanging out at the house, living off of mom and dad's fucking coattails still, what the fuck are you going to do when mom and dad die? Depending on your mom and dad, they may or may not own their house. Then you don't inherit a house, you inherit a mortgage. Okay? And you say, well, I'll sell it and I'll take the money and I'll buy my own. If you don't got no credit, you ain't buying shit. Because you'll be in a tier C level credit rating where your interest rate is astronomical compared to other people. All right? The system used to be, you had to figure it out because things cost money. Because things cost money, you have to get a job. And because you have to get a job in order to get money, the kind of job you got and used to be education you had and the skill sets you had determined your standard of living. By not participating in that system and crashing it, the standard of living is going to go down for everyone, including the rich. Okay? So just understand what you're asking for. You're probably not going to like the shit sandwich that's coming for you. Okay? I'm not scolding you. I'm just letting you know that you are going to get change. But the change you're going to get is not going to be something you like. All right? You know, people say socialism is so good. The VA medical system for veterans is a socialized medicine system. And speaking as a veteran who uses the VA, it sucks. It takes a month to get in to see your provider. Or you go to an emergency room. Okay? So, understand that. In other countries, you don't get to go to an emergency room. You got to wait. And even if that means you lose a limb or something. So, I wished your generation hadn't chosen to do what they're doing. And I think in the end, if it doesn't crash completely, some of you will figure out that, well, you don't get a choice. I talked to a young man recently who inherited a very nice Challenger SRT from his uncle. He is a janitor at a high school. When he told me he was a janitor and I saw the car he was driving, I was like, I don't know how the fuck he affords that, so now I know. But he's not a bad guy, but he's making decisions based on certain things. And I told him, so you got to choose, and you're late. Because here's the other thing. It doesn't matter what you do, even if you're white collar. Your body starts breaking down on you in your 50s. By the time you're in your late 50s, it's really giving you problems. Now, why am I saying that? Because if you're doing blue collar work, plumber, electrician, HVAC, carpentry, as you get older, it just gets harder. You know, it gets harder to stand up. It gets harder to carry a piece of plywood like 3/4 inch. And there's a difference between 3/4 inch and 3/4 inch with boards on the inside. All right, they're heavy. Okay. Or if you're a plumber, getting up off your knees or getting down on your knees or getting into a hole or crawling into a crawl space. If you're an electrician, same thing. Running wire through conduit, terminating, and all the things that you got to do. So there's no good solution. But at least under the system, we had choices. The system that's coming, there's not going to be any choices. For you young people, do your research on socialism and communism and dictatorships, because that's what's coming. Information is knowledge and power. Live a little, prep a lot, share the love. G. Prepper out.